don't know if I like that transition all that much. There's just a lot of discord happening with the music. So I might let the transition go before I start the music from now on. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, we are looking at another Euro USD analysis for the week. I was previously in this area. This is the week began right here. And we are currently at, so we can easily do that. Let's look at the week. So we'll come over here. This is the week we're in right now. So this was Monday, January 1st. This is January 8th. So this is the week we're in, which will end Thursday. So this is tomorrow and this is Friday. So it'll end in 2 days. Obviously, today's Wednesday. But we got the Thursday session going from today till tomorrow. And then Friday will start. But this is what we're looking at. Once again, let me start off by saying this is not financial advice. Do not follow what I'm doing. Use this to learn and to kind of see how other beginners trade and how other beginners are progressing. But do not use it to place trades or to try and make money. I am not a professional, nor am I a financial advisor. If you do want to make money, or if you're looking at investing, then please, by all means, seek out a professional. Otherwise, learn how to trade. That's really all it takes, and that is what I am doing. I am learning. So I feel comfortable getting rid of all these so we can break it down once again what all of this means. So basically what these mean right here is we look at the weekly chart. This is the weekly chart, and I want to look at last week. So we got last week's high right here. This is the red one. We can make that 4 pixels so you can see it better. So this is the high of last week. This one is the low of last week. What's going on here? Okay, there we go. And this is where it closed. So we got the high, low, and the close. And you can see we started off at the close and we went up. And just based on what we're seeing here, how prices kind of fluctuating between here, we could go bigger with our support and resistance, but you can see prices generally staying between these lines here. So it's giving us a rough idea of what the future holds. Price tried to break up through here, but then was rejected, and it came down to gain a little bit of force to shoot up before it was rejected up here. And then it didn't come back down past this support line. It instead went up. We have a bullish candle this week, and we can probably, the probability of a bullish candle next week is, honestly, I'm not going to call it because I don't know for sure. I'm kind of just 1 week at a time, and simply because of this, I started the week off selling and I did all right, but then I turned buyer. So let's see why all of that happened. Because if we look at the daily chart over here, you can see that the sellers really stepped in up here. But then they were met with some resistance at this line. That's where the sellers had a hard time moving the market. And then it wasn't until the next week. So this is really an area that we want to watch. This is our area of contention that we're looking for the future for the buyers to step in once. Oh man, I picked the wrong one. Let me just delete that. That's why this area right here is an area that we're looking at for interest in price. And if we're looking at intraday trading, we want to close this. So we generally use the weekly to kind of get an idea of where our ranges are. Then we come back to the daily. So we're going to turn this to the daily. And this is kind of how you're going to do your top-down analysis. You're going to break it down further and further and further. And if you're a day trader and you don't want to play these long swings, that's how you do it. So we got the day over here. Let me get rid of this. Actually, I'm going to keep that up. Let's just move that up here. So we are going to put this chart on the 4 hour, and you just get smaller and smaller every time. So we started off on the weekly, and now we're on the daily, and now we're on the 4 hour chart here. And you can see it really starts to give you a better picture at where the buyers and sellers are the smaller you go. And then that is what helps you to understand what you're going to trade that day. Are you going to be buying, or are you going to be selling? Where are you going to play, and whose playground are you going to play? And on the higher time frames, it's definitely buyers. If we look at the daily here, you can see the trend is up. So we have, let's get rid of all this noise. So on the daily time frame, you can see that the trend is up. But if we go to the lower time frame over here, the 4 hour, you can see that the trend looks like it's down. And so if you're playing on the 4 hour, then this is kind of what you're looking for. You're looking for that intraday trade trend right here. And then you can see it kind of building. But because there's more interest in selling, you'd want to sell every chance you have. So you would want to sell. You'd want to sell at this point. Let's just stick with the arrows. I kind of like arrows. I'm partial to the arrows. So you'd want to sell every time it goes up. You'd sell here. You'd sell here. We would sell here. We would sell here, because we're still in the seller's territory here. But we have to be aware that the overall trend is up. And we are looking at this resistance line right there. So as the sellers are pushing it down, the buyers are aiming for this area right here. So ultimately, you want to be careful if you're selling. I'm looking at maybe selling, not maybe, definitely selling. If it reaches this resistance level, definitely going to put a big order in and then ride it all the way down. That is my anticipation. But we'll see what happens when we get there. We don't want to... The thing about trading is you have to be fluid. You have to be, like Bruce Lee says, you got to be water. Because we're in a range here in this spot. And this is, if you're scalping, this is a perfect place to make some money. So if you're a pro, and I'm not a pro yet, you buy here, sell here. Buy here, sell here, buy here, sell here. And you're making money back and forth. But as a beginner, I try to focus on one way, one direction. So if I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be a sell. So instead of selling here, I'm going to sell when it hits this line right here, because it looks to me like we have a lot of interest in this price right here. Because every time it goes up, seller steps in. Buyers really try to push it, but then the seller stepped in and was like, not yet. Price went up. Seller was like, not yet. And then price is up again. And this time it managed to break above. So you know that the buyers are really, really pushing hard to bring that price up, which makes me believe that this is their target area right there. And that's what also is what I feel like the Mr. Seller is also looking for that target to get it up there and then to just liquidate and maybe push price back down. Because if we go to the weekly, you want to see what the big boys are doing. They are pushing price down. So it's all about whose playground we're in. And if you have the money to play on the weekly and the monthly, then this is the move you're looking for. So this is a retracement right here with a possibility of going down even further. And if we look to the left, we have the price right over here, which is, are they trying to push price back to this? Is this what we're looking for? Is this the end goal? This zone right here? Because it looks like it might be. We got price breaking. We have a line right here. And then we have price not really being able to come above this zone right there and possibly looking at retesting this area. But that is such a huge, huge time frame that from here, we're looking at 2001 to 2028 at least. So somebody's got a ton of money and is just sitting on it waiting for this move and then maybe buying it here and pushing it up to back to test this area. But we don't play that because we don't have that kind of time and we don't have that kind of money. So let's get back to reality. Let's go to the daily, which is what we're looking at. We can see that the move is down with a possible attempt here. And if we want to go in further, like say I play on the 5-minute chart. So I'm going to go over here, set that to 1 hour. And then even in this playground, there are different actors at play. So we have a move down and then a move up. But let's break it down and see what has been going on. We have the sellers coming here, and then we have a zone right here where the buyers are stepping in. We can actually put that right here when the buyers when the buyers really stepped in and started trying to push price back up. So let's make that red and a little thicker so we can see it. So this is now our resistance level. And let's put this on the 5-minute chart because this is what we're going to be looking at. So if I would have came in today, let's open our market sessions. Seeing that we have the sellers pushing the price down, and then at this area right here, the buyers trying to bring it back up. So you can see, okay, we have a zone forming. And the New York Open, I probably, like I said, we were in the land of the sellers. So I would have kept selling and I would have sold at this peak. Magnets on, let's turn that off. And then at every peak in between, right there, and even here and here. But I only tried and trade for 2 hours, so I probably would have ended up just trading these two peaks right here. Let's delete that. But you can potentially trade every attempt from the buyers to take price up. But let's continue our analysis and how we are supposed to be breaking it down. So we have the sellers, and then the buyers step in, create some resistance, and then of course you can see again the sellers pushing price down. And then the buyers step in and give us our floor. They give us the support zone right here. So we hit support, buyers come in, take price up before Mr. Seller decides, I'm going to push price down again. Pushes price down again, and then probably shouldn't have done that. I could probably keep that. Let me just add another. We're trying to really establish the patterns, the back and forth, the game that is being played here. So we have the seller steps in up here. Pushes price down, but the buyers are really trying to hold this area before Mr. Seller steps in again. And you can see it's that area right there that Mr. Seller is really satisfied with selling. Pushes the sell button and liquidates inventory. Bam, brings it down to support where the buyers decide, hey, this is our chance. Price is cheap. Let's push it up. And they take it. And you can see right here too, some people took advantage of this where the seller really pushed the price down. And then the buyers just took advantage of that and it skyrocketed price way up here. This must have been a news event too. Let's see, what is that? So that's around right here, the middle of New York session. Interesting. Is that where that's at? Let me see. Let me break that down because this must have been some kind of news event. London to New York. Yeah. There's probably a news coming. So once again, we have the price hit support and then skyrockets up. And then Mr. Seller says, ooh, this is a great place to sell. I'm going to sell it. And buyers step in. Mr. Seller's not exactly able to push price down again because we can see that there's a new support line forming right here. He brings price down and around this area, the sellers are just trying, the buyers are trying hard to keep price up, but every time price gets to this level, Mr. Seller says, nah, I don't think so. Pushes price down again, almost hits support, but not quite. The buyers are really buying until we hit here. Price comes up, and now we have like a bounce in between this zone before the buyers are really able to push price up. They break the initial seller's price zone. Oh man. So they break the initial price zone and then bam, take off. And this was I was in a trade here in this section this morning. And I had been in it since yesterday. So let's see. Let's open the market sessions. So I was in it since yesterday for the buy. And then right here, I was buying. I had two stop losses hit at this point when price came down to here, and then continued to buy, and 4 trades at 0.01 lot size. So it was a total. Actually, I think I had a total of 0.07 lots open before it cleared here and brought me back to break even. And I think I'm going to open a small account and play around with that. Maybe we're looking at like $50 account. I'm going to start putting in some real money and seeing how I do with that. I'm going to try to turn $50 into $100. And I'm not saying it's going to happen fast because I'm going to be dealing with 0.01 lot sizes. And if I'm lucky, in 2 days, I can make $20. But real money does change everything. So if we're on the 1 hour chart and we're watching this move, we can see that we were in seller's territory. Mr. Seller from up here all the way to down here. Let's see. I would say probably I would go down to this. Actually, no, because price immediately bounced up. So I would probably say right there. So from this point where Mr. Seller stepped in and tried to liquidate his wares to about right here, where price was unable to break this support zone, and support was really, really strong and really, really holding price before the buyer stepped in. And you can see this area right here is what the buyers were challenging. Where is it? Okay, here we go. So on the 5-minute chart, if you're trading intraday, you're not doing those long swings. This is what you're looking at. You're looking at suddenly we are challenging the sellers, and we may be in the buyer's land. So let's get the market sessions open right here. Okay, so New York, you would have been buying all of New York, and that's where I was. I had bought 2 days ago, and I closed up here for, no, I think it was right here when it first broke, and then it bounced back, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to close because I'm in profit, things are going great, and the session is almost over. Like I said, $20 profit. I was happy. It was 2 long days. That was way longer than I wanted to be. I don't like being in those long overnight trades. It's paying a lot in swap. Actually, it wasn't a lot, but 7 trades with swap is like $2. And on a small account, $2 adds up after a while. So we are looking at, for tomorrow, or even if you're going to trade in the Tokyo session, which is open right now, it looks like we might have the N formation. We're going to get an N where we're going to see price. Oh, man, too soon. Too soon. We may see price bounce around here, come up, break, bounce here, and then continue upwards, where the original goal right there, about 10, that's the original target right there. That's what we're looking at. And we have an N building. All we need to do is wait and see, is there going to be another bearish candle before the boom? What are we waiting for? They might, and that's what I'm anticipating, because Tokyo, they might bring the price down before London opens. So this may look something like this. Tokyo could range for a while. And that's where the higher time frames come in handy. Because if this is, what is this, like 5 hours? Then if we go on the 4 hour, this might be where we see the N formation, because you can see it's still a bullish candle. We'll probably get 2 bear candles and then the boom. So we still have plenty of time. And I haven't been able to trade on the Tokyo session for a while, because work has been heavy. And why are we learning how to trade? So that we can stop working manual labor. That's why this is important. That's why we have to study. That's why we have to keep pushing ourselves to get better at trading. Because this is the dream right here, being able to stay home and make money and have our money work for us rather than having me work for my money. I'm tired of working hard for the money. But I'm looking at opportunity here, because if this is what I'm anticipating, this kind of price action, then we have a new support and resistance zone right in here in Tokyo. So we can move this. We got the high up here. And then we have the Tokyo low, which is playing off the New York high. New York high is right there. So we have a potential to make money scalping in the way we do. we're looking at buying. So every time price comes to this point right here, we'll buy. Price comes here, buy. Price comes here, buy. Price comes here, buy. And then the takeoff. And that's pretty much because we see that we are in the land of the buyers on the smaller time frames. So we see opportunity buying until we get that initial boom. And it could go lower. This is why patterns, it's hard to just understand patterns and to trade off patterns. You gotta kind of trade off instinct, intuition, and just watching the market. And it's why it's important, why you can't just jump on the chart. You can't just jump in the trade or jump in the session and be like, I'm just going to start trading. You have to analyze it and look at this and see what the opportunities are and see what the market is bringing right now. And this is kind of what I'm seeing. So I can expect price to come here, price to come here, and price to come here. Let's mark those just so we can get a better idea. So we have the green line, which is our initial support, which is the high of New York, and then we have a resistance, which is the high of Tokyo, the current high of Tokyo. This can go higher and it could go lower, but we are initially expecting price to continue upwards. The euro has been very, very bullish lately this year, and this year it's probably going to get even more bullish considering it's an election year. This year is going to be so crazy that I can't even, I'm emotionally exhausted just from 2020 and everything in between. And then we got, oh my goodness, I can't even think about it. But let's break it down to see what our possible areas are. We have one here, which is we got it marked, and then we have it right here. We also have, it could come down to here again, but I don't think it's going to get that low. So every time it hits a low, I'm going to enter a buy. If it hits support here, I'll buy there, I'll buy there, and I'll buy there. And if it even gets to this point right here, I'll probably buy it. Because those are our points of interest. Of course, if it turns around then and decides that it's not going to go up, it's going to go down, then I'm pretty much out in the water. So I'm going to have to close all of these trades if they haven't closed yet, because we're looking for the bounce. I'm not trading the swing trades. Here, down here, if price gets to here, I'll trade the swing. If price gets to here, I'll trade the swing. So that's generally how I do a swing trade. Everything in here is a scalp. Everything in this second area is a scalp. But as it starts getting lower and lower, then I won't have a take profit. I'll still have my stop loss, but I'll have a take profit for here. As it gets down here, I'll set my take profit for up there and then close anywhere in between, or I'll let it go to take profit. That's why trading is also interesting, because there's so many different ways to trade that you kind of, the more you trade, the longer you're at it, you develop these systems for yourself and you discard what doesn't work, you keep what does, and then you build on that. For example, I trade with Jasper Forex. I watch their live every morning, and I don't necessarily trade along with him. I kind of go with my instinct, but I kind of use what Jean tells us as a roadmap, which is interesting because Jean even says so, that don't trade like me, because I can afford to trade like this. I can afford to take the hits. I can afford to take the drawdown. You have to figure out what is good for you. And that is the best advice. You can watch him trade and you can learn from it, but you cannot trade exactly like him because it's not how you trade. You have to discover and feel out what is your trading style, what is comfortable for you, and how far you're willing to push it, and how safe you want to be. So that's generally how hey, Trade with Donald, welcome. I was just about to wrap this up because I think dinner is ready. And I got to get ready for work. Thanks so much. I'm going to open a live small account either today or tomorrow. I'll probably do it next week with a new week. Just $50 and trade really, really small lots and see how it goes. But I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be exciting. But yeah, kind of hungry. I was hoping to get to some demo trading, but it doesn't look like we're going to be able to do that today because, man, I spent too much time talking already. But we can do that tomorrow. But Donald, thanks so much for stopping by. Anyway, this is my bias for the week. This is what I'm anticipating. I don't really condone trying to trade or taking this as gospel. Do your own analysis, see what you can come up with, and I'm interested to see what anyone else has to say in the comments. I'm always willing to talk shop. I love talking about trading. You can ask my family, they hate it. I'm obsessed with it, which is why I like John from Jasper Forex, because he also loves talking about trading. Anyway, thanks so much for stopping by. Hopefully see you again tomorrow night or the next time I'm trading. And remember, neurons that fire together, wire together. See you next time. I think that's a reverse or a megaphone pattern play out. If that happens, there's a lot of opportunity there for buying and selling.